Hello everybody, my name's Dave, thanks for joining me and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to give you the story of my dash cams in the Amazon debacle. So please, let's just get going. So why did I buy new dash cams? Here's a bit of a background information. Well, the reason was explained in the last video, but I'll start from the beginning here. On Tuesday the 9th of April, I was travelling to work and normal along the Monash Freeway, and at Narry Warren on-ramp the road always slows down. No idea why, but it does. I was in the centre lane slowing down from 100 down to about 80 kph when a black Mazda 3 came tearing past at about 120-130 kilometers an hour. I spotted a young man driving, but that was it, and as the car passed me I noticed two more young men in the car. The one in the front was leaning over to the centre, which I thought was a little bit odd, and then the car swerved across to the left hand lane and got stuck in traffic. Inevitably I ended up alongside the car, and it was trying to pull out in front of me with its indicator on. However, I had seen the driver and what others were doing, and the car was obviously, to me, stolen. I wouldn't let them out. I had already decided that if they drove into me I would push the car against the barrier, effectively trapping them all in the car. However, they decided to exit on the Narry Warren exit lane instead and sped off. As soon as I got to work, I got my memory cards and uploaded the footage to Crime Stoppers, not expecting to hear any more. However, a day later there was a request for me to call a senior sergeant at Dandenong Police. I called, but the phone went straight to voicemail, so they emailed me and said, would you upload the footage from my rear cam? So that night, that's what I did. The next day I received an email thanking me for the footage and informed me that the teenagers had been caught and arrested later that day. So, my gardener, Cameron, came around on the following Thursday and kept me up to date with the gossip. He told me that 4 youths, 3 boys and a girl, emphasis on the boys bit, had driven into another car in a Mazda 3 in Berwick High Street on the same morning. All of them had bailed out the car and tried to run, and had been pursued by members of the public, and all 4 were caught and arrested by the police. I reckon that my actions had forced them off at Narry Warren A404 turn-off and back towards Berwick. I thought, oh no, my actions likely caused the accident, but thinking about it, better an accident at low speeds than on the Monash at high speeds. I might have saved someone's life, and that's how I justify it anyway. So why the new dash cams? If you look at the footage again, you will see that even though the camera is straight on at the front of the car, 1080p is not clear enough to make out the registration plate. I thought what I need is a clearer camera, perhaps 4K, so I searched Amazon and found a camera, front and rear, for $67.99. So I ordered it. It came, but try as I might, it would not format the memory cards. I tried them all. So returning it, citing a fault, I got a refund. I then ordered another camera at $109.99. This was a different one, and I cannot find anywhere in the blurb where it mentions requiring hardware for parking sensors. Have a look for yourself. So the difference is that this camera relies on power from the car to operate, so naturally the parking sensor will not work when the engine is off. So there's no mention of requiring hardware until you read the manual where it tells you. I thought it will just require power when the car is off, so I will change the power options and get the parking working. Well, I was half right. The cameras do indeed turn on, but without the parking options, it turns out that the software is enabled by the box, and cabling of the wiring, even though the camera operates, it will not enable the software. So I got onto Amazon and got nowhere. All they would do was offer me a refund, and I added who was going to pay for the fitting, the removal, and then the fitting for the next camera. I told them $140 an hour at 4 hours $420. They offered me a $10 gift card as a bonus. I think I was all they could offer, so I asked to speak with the supervisor. I was told that they worked to the same policies and would make no difference, but I insisted. So after explaining to the supervisor what my expectations were and threatening Amazon with a lawsuit for false advertising, I was offered to get my money back and told to keep the camera. I then ordered my third camera on the supervisor's advice, and when it arrived it was exactly the same issue. So this time I called them and they rang back. I spoke with a very pleasant Filipino girl who understood somewhat and agreed that it would be better for me to speak again with the supervisor. I told the supervisor the full story and asked who was going to pay for the fitting, etc. The supervisor had solutions: send the camera back and they would pay for the hardware kit. So I agreed to get refunded for the latest camera of $159, and then he said, call us once the hardware kit arrives and we will refund your money for the hardware kit. So to sum up, I paid nothing for the cameras and nothing for the hardware kit. It was worth complaining, but you need to know the laws surrounding trading in Australia and be prepared to threaten them to potentially get nothing. I have never believed in luck or fate, and saying third time's the charm is clearly not accurate either. I have still got and are still using the second cameras. I have paid nothing for them because someone tried it on and deliberately forgot to mention the hardware in their description, which is clearly false advertising. I did find one snippet of information though. Amazon will not escalate a complaint until they have at least 2 complaints about the same product from different people. So let's get right up to date. The hardwire kit, as it's called, arrived today and I've installed it. Strangely, it replaces the USB power cable that came with the camera. It has 3 cables: an earth, a battery power cable and an accessory cable. Once I had these wires connected and the box in line, strangely the parking settings appeared in the software. The earth is just an earth, and then we have a B+ or battery wire which goes to a permanently powered fuse, and the ACC wire which goes to a powered with ignition on fuse. That means that when you turn the engine on, the camera works as normal, and when you turn it off, it works off the battery. I watched a YouTube video and a guy stated that you shouldn't use critical fuses like the PCM or the TCM in case they interrupt with those systems. He also stated that the fuse piggyback adapters had to go in a certain way around. Does anyone know why? Because I've never heard of these things. Please leave a comment if you do. That's about it. My camera's now working correctly. I've had all my money back and the cameras are a lot clearer. I'll show you some video in a second. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much. Bye now.